What's the weirdest sex act you've ever done alone? In middle school, I once got a postcard from a girl I was super into. I'm pretty sure it was a generic birthday card. Anyway, I was so excited that I opened the card, cut a hole in the middle and tried to beep it. Didn't go well. Do not recommend. Highly uncomfortable and painful. Do you wanna know how I got these scars? One time when I was like 11, my PS2 controller glitched out and it just vibrated non-stop. That's all I'll say. And the rest is history. Made a fake vagina with a rubber glove, empty pasta sauce jar, a bath sponge and a rubber band. Then peeped it for weeks as a lonely teenager. This dude is so Italian, he peeped a pasta sauce jar. Hope he's using protection. He might get the jar prego. Dug a penis-size hole in the ground. Filled it with packing grease. Peeped it. You literally peeped the planet. Nestle has entered the chat. I once took a soup spoon up my bum, the handle with some lube on. After I had to throw out the spoon, I just couldn't look at it again the same way. Edit changed the trademarked Vaseline to lube as it was a regular sex lube. Imagine your mom making her prized chicken noodle with it SMH. My grandmother, bless her soul, was the sweetest, most innocent woman you'd ever met. She would stay with us sometimes and help out around the house. One year, for Christmas, she bought me a pack of hankies. Obviously confused, I wanted an explanation. She said to me that I need to use hankies to blow my nose into, instead of all my clothes, because she did the washing and saw all the crusty stains on them. I am sorry, Grandma. I am really sorry. Your grandma knew exactly why you were doing. I wanted to make my own fleshlight, so I took the tube out of a roll of toilet paper and dunked the TP into warm water. I then put my dick into this warm mass of wet toilet paper. It felt decent but made such a mess. And the post-nut guilt was something else. On the outside. What the peep? I just peeped a roll of toilet paper. I'm disgusting. Later that week, when the horn came back, I'll peep and do it again. Wanked it while riding a tandem bike home from a fetish party. Where the peep are fetish parties at? Grandma's house. As a horny and desperate youth, I was constantly looking up new ways to rub one out. My biggest peep up was after I saw the video of how to make a pocket pussy out of 2 dish sponges, a dish glove, and a cup. I had the cup, but no sponges or rubber glove. What I did have was 2 MR Clean Magic erasers, and some saran wrap. Long story short, saran wrap does not create an effective barrier between skin and caustic chemicals. I had a chemical burn on the head and shaft of my dong for about 2 weeks. Didn't go to the hospital, but I did have to wear the softest pair of shorts I owned for a while. Kids, read the warning label before you put your dick in something. Undefined. Edit 2. Obligatory thank you for my first gold. However, whoever gave a wholesome to this may need to speak to a professional. r/don't putty our dick and that. r/regret putting my dick and that. I kind of have this fetish where the idea of being experimented on, or being the product of a Frankenstein's monster kind of experiment, is a big turn on. I also have a fetish for being forced to drink liquids. So one day I decided to try combining the two. I set up some spooky green lights in my living room. Then take some plastic tubing I have from other hobbies and make myself a siphon, with one end down my throat a little ways, and the other in a big ass cup of Gatorade sitting on a table above me. May as well hydrate. Am I right? I laid down on my back, with a towel under me, and just kind of let the siphon go. It didn't last long. The weight changed so rapidly the tubing pulled the glass over, spilling the like half-gallon of Gatorade all over me and my carpet. I had put towels down, but it was just so much it still soaked through. So here I am, sitting in the middle of my living room, naked, covered in Gatorade like an asshole. It wasn't a highlight of my solo sexual exploits, but it's a good story I don't ever get to tell, lol. I love that you set up green lights, lol. I used a wooden sword as a dildo when I was a teenager. En garde. PIV. Penis in vacuum. I was going through puberty. I like to imagine you were just beeping the bag. I really try to imagine nothing. But you do you, I guess. When I was a kid I had the thought if I could jerk off but keep the cum in me, would it feel good for longer? So I put scotch tape over my pee hole and went to town. Suffice to say it was very painful and I have a bit of a lasting trauma. Would not recommend. I just imagine the cartoons where someone sticks their finger in the barrel of a gun and the barrel peels back and explodes. Saw a thing in a hentai. Decided to try it out. Gave myself a UTI and thrush. If you're gonna beep a bottle, make sure to sterilize it first. In general, don't do what hentais do. You will almost certainly end up with either a UTI, in some form of relationship with some form of demon, or you will be a sleeve at the end of the day. Spent a whole day during school break lazy. In bed. Seeing how many times I could ejaculate. The answer for 17-year-old me was 12 times. 44-year-old me has not yet repeated the experiment. But my guess is once. Dude. It's in the name of science. Oko cock, fine, you convinced me. Just doing God's work. You know these weird intrusive thoughts you sometimes have when near somewhere you could jump from? Welp, one time I just put a butter knife up my V. Undefined. I then scrubbed that thing like my life depended on it. I don't got one, but that made mine hurt. I'll start by saying I'm glad I never got my dick ripped off. I was sexually repressed by religion and it led to weird sex things. Our top-load washing machine had just the right amount of vibration. And I discovered I could run it with the lid open by jamming some pennies into the hinge area. The top of the spindle had a hole/cup in the top where you are supposed to add bleach or fabric softener. Or apparently dick. Wrap my dick in something soft. Lay across the washing machine and put it the bleach hole. Let me tell you. When it hit spin cycle, I didn't last long. Thanks for bringing up these horrifying times in my life. Wow, yeah, I'm amazed you never got hurt, holy speep. Once when I was a teen I masturbated on horseback. And no, before anyone says anything weird, it wasn't anything bestiality related. I was just always forced to go on horse rides/camping trips with my parents and had to sleep in the front of the horse trailer on a cot, so no privacy, and was in the middle of the woods, so no bathroom or anything. I was really horny that weekend for some reason, and so after we finished our group trail ride I said I was gonna ride more by myself and rode off into the woods. I rubbed one off up on top of the saddle really quickly, then rode back to camp like nothing ever happened. I'm so glad no one happened to come by. Hormones as a teen are insane. That horse was probably like, WTF she doing up there, and why am I having to stand here like this in the middle of nowhere? LOL. Taking the word horse girl to a whole other level. But at least it's a legal and socially acceptable level. I wrote a raunchy message to a girl on my phone but didn't send it. I aimed my erection at the phone and made a deal with my dick that if it could get hard enough to reach the send button, the message would get on its way. And what happened? I sent it and then came and immediately felt regret. So I changed my picture to a photo of China and my username to a bunch of Mandarin nonsense and then spammed her a bunch of Chinese stuff to make her think I was a foreign spammer. 10/10 come back, my guy. I didn't think that would be possible. I used a soft fishing lure as a dildo and lotion as lube. Got super freaked out after I was really high and paranoid, so I called poison control thinking I was going to die from the chemicals on the lure, lol. That customer service rep probably remembers that call every once in a while and cracks up thinking about it. I hope that in her darkest moments, she thinks to herself, at least I'm not sticking a fishing lure up my ass, and chuckles onward to a happier day. Tied my own legs to the bedposts behind my head, but I tied them too tight, so I had to cut myself out with a mechanical pencil on my nightstand. It took maybe more like 15 minutes. This beeping thread. Man. I love it. Beeped a cabbage. Made coleslaw. Creamed cabbage. Trouser kraut. Kok choy.